So continuing with the next one. Here, the main idea, the last and final part of the essay, it's concept of sign, signifier and signified. Okay, so and we have very beautiful pictures drawn by our classmates here, and I'll explain with the help of those pictures as well as the board image. So these terms are very new to you. Sign, of course, you know, but signifier, signified, those are not very familiar, I think. So what we are going to do here is, I will talk about, it's a brain. We want an actual object. I have kept a guava here, wanted an apple, but I kept a guava here. I don't know, while you're making the presentation, it's possible for me to make it clear if I make it available here. I don't know, just try with that. Just close the presentation for the time being, so that let me show you this object here that I have kept with me. Can you see here? It's an actual object. Instead of an apple, I took another fruit. Okay, and you have to tell, is it clear? Did you see this? It's a guava. It's a fruit. But just think that it's an apple. We are going to have our discussion on the apple. And what you saw in my hand was an actual object. Can you ever say that actual object is an apple? See, you just think that it's an apple lying on the table, or a guava lying on the table. That's an actual object. But when someone tells you about an apple, that there comes an image in your mind, right? Is it the actual object? No. The fruit that I have in my hand is with all the, like, see, some black color is there, some other spots and marks are there. It's not very clear. Sometimes if I opt to eat this, I will have to remove the outer cover, because it's not very clear. It's something like attacked by some birds or something, almost on the mode of rotting. Okay, so but when you talk about an apple, of course an image comes to your mind, a very perfect, sometimes very perfect apple. Not always very perfect, I'll tell you, but there comes a concept, a kind of concept that comes to your mind. And at this very point, I would like you people to look at the 3 trees drawn by the students in your own class and sent to me last week as per my request. Just see, every class, every year, while teaching social, I called someone of, this time I made it 3 of you to do, but every time I call one student to be in front of the board and draw a tree according to her or his idea. And every time we get trees of the kinds which are drawn by the students in your class. See, there is some consistency in this. And of course, we have very prominent or privileged situation here in Kerala to discuss Sociorian essay, especially when it is about this tree. We have our Kerala, the state is termed after the tree called Kera Vriksham, means coconut tree. And none of you, just think, if I have given this 58 of you this assignment, most of you, I'm sure, damn sure, 55 of you would have drawn the trees of the kind that is drawn by the classmates. The 3 trees you see under the at the last bottom part of our slide. So why didn't anyone draw a coconut tree? So that is the part at which Socio talks about the concept and the sound image. That's the concept. That's not the actual object. You see numerous number of trees, but We have somewhere at a very young age or in some other picture books, or most often we see trees of this kind. Not a coconut tree, but the trees with a first a trunk and a very thick and densely covered leaves. And we have the tendency immediately when you hear the term tree, someone tells you to draw, you draw the concept that you have in mind, and that comes in this form almost always. And I didn't see any student all these years drawing a coconut tree. The possibility is 20% at least, as we are in Kerala. Otherwise, there is no chance at all, because no one even thinks about other kinds of trees. Only these kinds of trees, their appearance can vary from different sizes, the shape, size, but we have the tendency to draw these kinds of trees. And that's why Sosho says, the concept you have whenever you hear a sound, whenever you have a word, see, the apple on the table, you just think it's an actual object. But apple in our mind when we talk about. Okay. Some of you, just think that one of your parents brings a bag full of apples, and all of them have in a very bad condition. Just see. Sometimes it happens when we buy fruit. Sometimes it is not at all in an edible condition. Okay, and that student, when he or she is talked about, okay, you see, you just think that you have seen some worms moving inside the apple once you took it for eating. And that image of apple that comes to your mind, the concept that immediately brings you when you hear the term apple is very bad. You are not at all very happy to think about that even. Sometimes we might have come across people who give up eating something for the whole of their life for an abhorrent episode at one point. Sometimes while eating, they might have consumed some worms with that. That happens. Of course, I had a relative who took a very beautiful mango, very beautiful outside, and so that the person didn't take care and began to just cut and began eating. But inside, it was completely a network of worms, and she was somewhere stuck with her. And this happens. So, of course, the concepts that the concept that is brought by a word, when you hear it, that varies from person to person. And a person who is very fond of apple, who gets very beautiful and very healthy, very perfect apple, of course, the concept in a very different way. And that is why you have that in our minds, the apple tree or whatever it may be in our mind, when we talk about it, is a concept. It's not the actual object. Can you ever claim that all the trees you see every day on road, in front of your yard, in the campus, all the trees look like this? No. But this is a concept that is already there in you. And that is why we formulate ideas accordingly. And the sounds, when we have sounds to express the idea. In a language, we have sound images. Okay. You see here, apple. In English, how do you write it? It as a phonetics is available. You make it in like a sound image itself. Apple. In Malayalam, it is apple. I have written there. So with the different scripts, with different sound images, you can express it. But, and just think about the individual sound differences. That means when I pronounce apple, it's apple. Okay. Some of you may speak apple and apple. All these sound differences may vary according to the individual also. But as a whole, a person who knows English can identify it's apple. Okay, that person might have talked about apple or apple in a perfect sense. So that is again a possibility, but you have to think or you have to know first. The main thing in social comes here with the sound image. Now he turns to be signifier. That means the image, the sound with which we represent, the words with which we represent, the sound image with which we represent an object or a person image, whatever it may be, it is called a signifier. And the concept he refers with the new term signified. What do you mean? What is the term? Signifier and signified. So here it is you may feel it like complicated because we talk about actual object, all those. Please leave those. But you just think about, you write down on the board tree, T-R-E-E, or apple, A-P-P-L-E. And in the phonetic script also you have the sound image. That is termed to be signifier in Saussurian linguistics. And the other one, the concept. I talk about a tree and 5 students are in front of me. I talk about tree, the image of the tree coming to your mind. It's of course, here we have with the tree, it's a very easy for us to tell because almost all of us have the tree of this kind. But with the different objects, we have different concepts coming to. And these signified may vary from person to person. I will tell you the example with the tree itself. Very important for you to understand the concept and signified. Okay, a tree. I tell about a tree. Okay, about the image, this may be the way it comes. For a child who used to have a beautiful childhood, who used to have a swing on a tree, Unyal, swing on the tree and spend all the holidays on the swing. The person attaches the positive vibe with the concept, or immediately the tree, with the tree, all these concepts come to the child's mind. Okay, and just think about another person who is very fond of mangoes. When I tell tree, only mango tree comes to his or her mind. So that is the concept varying from A to B. Say for example, A is the child who thinks about swing on the tree. Immediately once it hears the sound image. The other one thinks about the mangoes, the abundant mangoes on the tree. And another person, you say, two of these are very positive concepts. Okay, signifieds are very positive. What about a person who had to witness his or her beloved hanging on a tree, hanging dead on a tree? The concept brings all the very negative and very uncomfortable concept it brings. Without term, of course, makes the person irritated. So this is how the concept varies from person to person. Hope you understand. It is very important you to make it clear here itself. Sound image, ഞാൻ tree, മരം എന്ന് പറയുന്നു. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും ഏകദേശം ഞാൻ tree എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ ഞാൻ tree. All these are possible. In English itself, 3, 4, 5% speak. The sound, the quality of the sound accordingly it may vary. But tree as a word, if you know, you have a written script, your writing script, and even phonetics in English. In Malayalam, we do not have phonetics, but maram, you can write it here. Or apple, you can write it in that way. Okay. And if you have a term in Malayalam itself, you can guva. You can write it perakka. Whatever it may be, you have a sound image there. And what about the concept that I explain now? ഒരു കുട്ടി എന്താ ഊഞ്ഞാല് വെട്ടി ആടിക്കൊണ്ടിരുന്ന ഓർമ്മയാണ് പെട്ടെന്ന് അതിന് വരുന്ന കോൺസെപ്റ്റ്, അതിന്റെ ട്രീ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു സൗണ്ട് ഇമേജ് ആ കുട്ടിയിൽ ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്ന കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് എന്താണ്? വളരെ പോസിറ്റീവ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ഊഞ്ഞാലും അതിന് റിലേറ്റഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഓരോ കാര്യങ്ങളും അതിന്റെ കോൺസെപ്റ്റിൽ വരികയാണ്. വേറൊരു കുട്ടിയോട് മരം എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ മാങ്ങയൊക്കെ ഭയങ്കര ഇഷ്ടമുള്ള കുട്ടിയാണ്. എപ്പോഴും ബാക്കി ഒരുപാട് മരങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് മാമ്പഴത്തിനെ പറ്റിയും അത് റൈപ്പൻഡ് ആയിട്ട് നിൽക്കുന്ന മാമ്പഴമൊക്കെയാണ് ഓർമ്മിക്കുക. അതിന്റെ കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് അതാണ്. ആ കുട്ടിയിൽ വരുന്ന കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് അതാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഇത് പോസിറ്റീവ് കോൺസെപ്റ്റ്സ് മാത്രമേ ഉണ്ടാക്കൂ, നമ്മൾക്കൊരു മിസ്റ്റേക്ക് ഇറ്റ് ഇൻ ദാറ്റ് വേ. ബട്ട് ഒരാള് എന്ത് കാണുവാണ്, അവരുടെ ഭയങ്കര ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ട ഒരാളോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഒന്നും വേണ്ട, നമുക്കറിയുന്ന അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പരിചയമുള്ള ഒരാള് ഒരു മരത്തിൽ തൂങ്ങിക്കിടക്കുന്ന അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മരിച്ചു കിടക്കുന്ന അങ്ങനെ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു സീന് കണ്ടുപോയ ഒരാൾക്ക് എന്താണ്, പേഴ്സൺ എപ്പോഴും മരം നോക്കുമ്പോൾ പെട്ടെന്ന് അതാണ് ഓർമ്മ വരും. So this is possible. So this is how we have concepts in our mind. Okay, so what Saussure says is, whichever side, all sound images bring immediate concepts in our mind. The impact you saw here with these three kids drawing these kinds of trees, because they have known the tree images almost always. They saw in the picture books from their very childhood the trees of this kind, and they take this as the ideal concept. This is the tree. ആരെങ്കിലും ഒരാൾ തെങ്ങ് വരച്ചോ? കേരളത്തിലായിട്ട് പോലും തെങ്ങ് വരച്ചില്ല എന്നുള്ളിടത്താണ് നമ്മളിൽ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് എന്താണ്, ഓൾവേസ് വിത്ത് എവറിത്തിങ് വി നോ, നമുക്ക് അറിയുന്ന ടേം ആണെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് കോൺസെപ്റ്റലൈസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. വേർഡ് വിച്ച് യു ഡു നോട്ട് നോ അറ്റ് ഓൾ, അതിന്റെ മീനിങ് അറിയാത്തടത്ത് എന്ത് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല, യു കനോട്ട് ഓൾവേസ് കോൺസെപ്റ്റലൈസ്. ബട്ട് ഇഫ് യു നോ ദ മീനിങ്, the immediate effect is about you are having a concept in your mind. That's what Saussure terms to be signified. Very simple ആയിട്ട് യൂസ് ചെയ്ത ടേംസ് ആണ് സൗണ്ട് ഇമേജ് കോൺസെപ്റ്റ്സിന് കുറച്ചും കൂടി. He makes it more scientific with this term signifier and signified. Okay, so that's all with the Saussurean linguistics. Let me conclude the essay. You have in nature of the linguistic sign, in the first part we talked about what? Arbitrary, the sign, the features of the sign with the arbitrariness. That means see, except for onomatopic words, all the words we attach, the meanings are arbitrary, not rule bound. Relational, defining one's meaning in relation with the other. Male, female, male, not female, female, not male. Dark, not light, light, not dark. So this is almost like relational, defining meaning in a relational mode. And constitutional. That examples, please note down. Terrorist and freedom fighter. All those examples give you how it is constituted. It's according to our concept. We are in India and Bhagat Singh becomes a freedom fighter. The same person becomes a terrorist for the Britishers. So there is no as such, Bhagat Singh is a freedom fighter, we cannot say. Bhagat Singh is a terrorist, you cannot say it in an objective manner. But it is constituted by each person's reality. And the second part, we discussed the systems, two systems. One about the conceptual map and the language, the shared meanings we talked about, and common language enabling translation of thoughts and concepts we talked about. And then it is about the theories of representation. As we didn't have much time that day, we immediately jumped to synchronic and diachronic study for the last few to 55 minutes. So that was finished off, and the synchronic and diachronic study, I do not have to. Here, theories of representation is what we discussed today. Reflective, intentional, and constructivist. Under the second one, intentional theory, we had paradigmatic and syntagmatic axis, lang, all the main concepts. And the last one, the sign signifier, signified aspect, I gave you as a different topic. It's about the main thing in Saussure, because sign, signifier, signified, these concepts, the new terms which are very important in Saussurean linguistics. So hope the essay is clear for you. If you have any doubt, you can ask me, and the notes I will send you later. Okay, fine. So thank you so much for being here on a Saturday holiday, but every day is a holiday, and COVID-19 teaches us to change our fixed concepts. As Saussure says, we have different concepts possible. Okay, today's mango tree, if you have a lot of worms inside a mango, and next day onwards you may begin to hate mango, so the concept of tree may vary. So there is no fixed meaning. So there is no fixedness as such in that way. That can vary from person to person. And this is the way he ends up his essay, or this essay is almost like a very it's almost like compartmentalized. The concepts in different stages he says. So it's very easy for us to make it organized in this way and discuss it as different topics. So hope you enjoyed learning the essay, and if it is a live classroom, it's very even more lively with the drawings, the objects, all those. But now we have to deal with what we have available. Okay, thank you so much today. Thank you.